Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the last part in this look at Linux Mint. And what I'm going to do here is gather together some of the bits and pieces that I've missed out so far. Unfortunately, the webcam is playing a silly little game with OBS at the moment, so I don't have the time to troubleshoot it, so you're going to have to do without my gorgeous face. Oh dear, what a shame. So, there's a few things outstanding. Let's start with the web browser called Vivaldi. Internet. Don't really want to do that. This is Vivaldi. I haven't really tuned it very much. You can go into an awful lot of stuff. F4, by the way, will bring out your sidebar where you will find anything like bookmarks, your reading list, your downloads, your history. It all appears down there. And if you want to get rid of it, you just press F4 and it all packs up away nice and neat. Down here on the bottom left, there is the settings, and that will get you into all the settings where you can change around everything. Note you've got the privacy and security in here. Keyboard controls, mouse, all the rest of it, your panel where you want it, your tabs where you want those, top, left, right, bottom. This is very, very customizable. The only thing that I can't really customize too much is the search engine. Couldn't really get it to go, so I had to, I wonder if I can do that. Yeah, if I do that, I can probably make that the image search and make that there, and then I can get rid of that. Yay! So if you want to get rid of everything other than DuckDuckGo, like I do, then just copy the suggest URL into the image search and image post URLs, and then you will be able to delete Bing, because Bing is normally the image search engine, and you can't delete an engine while it's in use as the default. I got rid of all the D engines, but hey presto. Highly customizable. I recommend you take the time to go through all the stuff and get it tuned as you wish. Where is the download section? There's normally a download somewhere, but you can just F4, boom, and you have pretty much as much of your estate as you need. Yeah. The key thing that I wanted to tell you about was if you have pages open and you accidentally close a page, Control, Shift and T will bring it back. It's not easy to find because if you look at the history, it doesn't exactly show you the last tab closed. It's more difficult to get it back. In many browsers, if you go for the history, it has a section for the recently closed tabs. Not Vivaldi, but Control Shift T will bring back the last tabs that you closed, and there you go. That's a nice hint for Vivaldi. If you happen to be going for Linux Mint and you want to download it, there is a Mate edition and there is an XFCE edition. These XFCE is possibly the lightest one at all. Mate is also light, but Cinnamon has all the niceties for desktops. It's slick, beautiful, and full of new features. But you might want to try the Mate edition. There's one condition which I believe goes against the Mate edition, and that is if you're using multiple monitors which are at different resolutions and different sizing ratios. Then, if you're doing that, then probably Cinnamon is the best one to go for out of the various versions. Right. I wanted to go through RSS and RSS feeders. Newsblur.com, I think. There are a couple of RSS feeders, one of which is Newsblur, you can try, you can sign up for a free account, which won't give you much features, but it's what I use on my works machine because I can't have extra software loaded. So I use NewsBlur to keep track of my RSS feeds on there. On Linux itself, however, under Internet, there is LifeRia. And LifeRia you can install because it's in the Mint repositories. So you can just use sudo apt-get install LifeRia and up it will come. Some people find this difficult. Some people find RSS feeds difficult because it's a lot of information. Personally, I find it easier because I can just look at the headline and know whether or not I actually want to read the article. So to me, it's just a simple, quick look down. And do I read it? No. Oh, that's interesting. Telegram's got a serious doxing problem. And you can start reading in here, or you can double click and it will launch into your browser for you. Show purposes. I don't want performance cookies. No. Confirm. I hate the cookie side of things. And in here you will find most of the add-ons. Where are the add-ons around here? There's a search bar. That's that. Where are the add-ons? Add-ons, themes, bookmarks, quick commands. They got to be around somewhere. Blocking level. You've got blocking built into this. Bookmark page. Reader view. So you do have a reader view if you need it. That's built in. I want to put an add-on in. Where is it? Notes window. Translate. Loading. Wikipedia. Add web panel. I can remove some of these. Remove web panel. I want the tools. Where is it? Appearance, themes, start page, tabs. Let's just go for some of them. Let's just go for brain is failing me today. Can I go for the tab? Edit, customize toolbar, update, flexible, home, address field, address, navigation, status, toolbar, toggle images, page actions, command chains. Let's search for privacy badger. privacybadger.org, Electronic Frontier Foundation. Privacy Badger, add to Chrome. This is based on Chrome, so you have got the extensions and it will go in. Whoops, add extension. And there we go, Privacy Badger. So I can actually go for that and manage extensions. So I can search extensions. So where are the extensions? Oh, Vivaldi extensions. Okay. So I can add others in here, like uBlock Origin. It should be around somewhere. Developer mode on. Okay. Extensions. No search results found. Got to be around somewhere. You can install from the Chrome Web Store directly. Oh, so you got to find it in the Chrome Web Store. Just add Chrome on extension of choice. So we go to the Chrome Web Store. So we search the store for uBlock Origin. There we go. We can add that to Chrome. The extension uBlock. We can add that in. See, here they come up, and there they go. So they are now active. I don't think that the Chrome store has the Firefox, the Facebook thing. So let's search again. Extensions, Chrome Web Store, Facebook. No, the Facebook blocker is on Firefox, but it's not on here yet. So there you go. And they have started appearing there. And remove from toolbar. There goes the ID because I'm the only one using it. And I don't know where the download comes in. It should come around somewhere. But anyway, it is a very powerful thing. Nice, powerful browser, and you can just use these. And yeah, action required. The unlock password was incorrect. Did I actually put a password in it? Oh, it's my admin password. Duh. Okay. So there we go. We should now just be able to use this, and we should just be able to get at stuff, and it'll just fire up now that I've put that in. So yeah, I find RSS feeders very handy. You can also use it for YouTube. There is a way of getting YouTube in if you can find the channel ID. So if you find a YouTube channel, it's probably most... what do you got here? What do you got? It's probably easiest in Firefox, to be honest, to do this. And we're just going to do that. Reject all. That's going to come up, and we're going to pause that. Yeah, what do you got? Now we're going to go view page source. We should just be able to use the page source. There we go, view the page source. And if we search for channel hyphen ID, it should find... it might be channel underscore ID. They do change this now and then. Channel ID. Don't tell me they've changed it yet again. Channel. Side channel. One match. Ooh, they've changed it yet again. Normally you could search for channel ID and it would give you the number that you needed. But it looks like they've taken it out. Let's see if we can search for hyphen ID. See what we get. ID entity. Nope. ID entity. That might actually be the channel ID. But you can actually search for data ID. So you can actually, there are ways of working out a channel ID and actually getting, let's see if we actually go on a video. Pause that and view the page source. We might actually be in luck here. Channel hyphen ID underscore ID. There we go. Channel ID is starting to appear. Let's try another one. Channels, strings. But if you search for channel ID, you will find the actual channel ID, and you will be able to then use it. Ugh. Even Firefox's view source isn't working right. Bleeding typical. There's 8 matches in here, and I should be able to find them. And yeah, so if you find channel ID, then you can put it in a URL to actually get the to get it in here. So I use it for YouTube channels. I used to use it for Twitter as well. If you have Twitter, you know that you just basically get a fire hose of information, and it's just impossible. By putting in RSS feeds in for specific Twitter channels, when that channel tweeted, then I'd see it, and it was pretty useful. Unfortunately, Twitter decided to turn off the RSS feed function, so that knackered that. But I use RSS feeds to keep track of pretty much everything, so we're going to mark all that as read. So they're all red. Any new ones come in, it pops up and it comes in bold. But yeah, so RSS feeds are out there. You can use them, and there are web-based versions as well, and there are ways to actually lock on to YouTube channels as well. I'm just going to have one last chance. Developer tools, view page source, find channel _ID. No, channel -ID. This isn't working either properly. Match case or match not case. Ah, it took a while. It's found something. What did it find and where? I don't know. Anyway, yes, you can actually get hold of the channel IDs and use that as well. OBS. I forgot to actually cover OBS. Is it part of these? Sudo apt-get install OBS. This is the fake thing. OBS. There we go. Studio. Now OBS is what I'm using to actually do a lot of bits and pieces to do the recordings. OBS is very popular, and this is processing triggers, all the rest of that jazz. There's plenty of videos on how to use OBS, but under sound and video, OBS Studio is there. Would you like to run the auto configuration? No, we're not going to do that. If you change your mind, you can do it at any time, yeah. So you've got multiple scenes, and any scene can be taken up of multiple sources. So you can use audio capture devices, video capture devices, window capture if you needed to. Create a new one, Windows X Composite, desktop. Okay, it's supposed to be capturing the desktop. I don't think it is. Windows X Composite. Oh, the particular video, right. You can actually capture individual things. So if we capture that, it should be capturing that. No. Okay. Let's just get rid of X Composite and capture screen capture. That's it. Create new, and that captures the screen. Ba-doom. So we're actually capturing the screen, and then you can put your microphones and all the rest of it in here as well, and then you can do that. But I'm not going to take you on a total, and then you just start recording, start streaming if you've got a streaming key and all the rest of that jazz. You've got a lot of options in it. Yeah, so OBS is easy to get and use on Linux. Joplin. Now, Joplin is a nice one. I don't think there's actually a candidate for this. Joplin. No, there isn't. So we're going to search for Joplin. Now, Joplin is something that I've found handy. I think it's multi-platform. Download the app. So it's on mobile as well. You can, if you pay, have this to go to. Let's just get rid of that sidebar. It's a pain. Get it on Linux. Save. Sort by date. I think I should actually be able to change the settings so that the download doesn't pop up here and then it pops up somewhere else. That's going to be in the settings somewhere. Downloads. Display downloads automatically. Nope. Notify. Where to go to. Update default locations. Save files without asking. And I think that'll do it. Right, so let's just F4, let's hide that. So we've got it. We should be able to put downloads up here somewhere. Let's just see if we can do that. Edit, customize toolbar. Downloads, yes, we should just be able to put that up there. And that will give me the downloads. Done. So downloads, Joplin app, open, that's going to open up. Oh, it's an app image. Showing file manager. Right, so what I'm going to do is, this is a self-contained app image. So what I'm going to do is, under here, there's no real place for applications themselves other than the hidden files .config, .local. Yeah, let's put it under .local. Create new folder, Joplin. I'm going to drop it in there. Now I am going to go through permissions with you. So I'm going to go for, this won't run on its own. So I go into the properties, permissions, and say allow executing file as a program. Once I've done that, I can run it. Hello. Ah, there we go. It took a few moments to start. So you start Joplin off, and it's basically a note system. So you've got notes. You can new notebook. You can add notebooks and add notes to notebooks, and all the rest of that stuff. Add new notes. So you can add loads of notes and keep yourself organized there. I find this much better than some systems. It automatically saves itself. If you have synchronization, you can various synchronization targets, OneDrive, Joplin Cloud, all the rest of that stuff. If you want to do it, synchronization, advanced settings, all the rest of it. There is one other thing which you may want to turn off, and that's turn off the saving geolocation with the notes. If you're paranoid, that's one. I think there is another one, but that's only on Windows. So that should be the only one, geolocation with notes, that you may want to turn off onto the privacy side of things. But again, have a look through. But that's I find it very handy to cut and paste things in to keep myself amused on things. And I think turn off the editor, and then you got what you see is what you get. So you can paste loads of things in here, and I use it to organize an awful lot of things. It's better for me than keeping a load of post-it notes either on the desktop or somewhere else, and it will save itself locally. Synchronize if you set up synchronization, and it's easier to organize things and find things. I'm actually using Joplin now to read off the various things. But we're going to close that. So yeah, .local, make a folder, put it in, and you have to change the permissions to allow it to execute as a program. So that's what you have to do with a few others that come down as what are known as app images. App images are typically like self-contained programs, so that they don't rely on other libraries, what we call dependency hell, or what we used to call dependency hell. So they're self-contained, which, some people find it useful, some people don't, yada yada. Joysticks, and I think I do have JSTest-GTK. Now that is part of the libraries. So JSTest.jtk. There's no joysticks, so let's just get one. So you can actually run joysticks on Linux, as if you didn't guess. I'm just going to install one. Just plug it in. Do a refresh on this. There you go. There's the joystick, so I can run a test. Left, right, up, down. Whoops. I've got various buttons here. So it's responding. You can do mapping, calibration, all the rest of it. It can. So you can use joysticks and things on Linux, and there is the joystick testing tool for you. JS Test JTK. Let's just unplug this. Yeah, so that's that. Darktable raw processor. If you shoot images and you use raw files in your camera, you can install Darktable. Darktable will allow you to read and process raw files from a camera, and it's also useful as a throughput for various others. Graphics Darktable. There's probably going to be nothing on here at the minute, but Darktable can there we go. Import. No images in the collection. Images folder. Folder. Did I actually put anything in here? Yeah, must have done. Okay. Yep, loads of stuff. CR. You'll see that this is a CR2. That's from a Canon camera, and that's also from another Canon camera, which is the JPG. So you've got the CR2. So you've got all the stuff down here that you need to. You've got the light table, darkroom, and you can mess things around. Search module, shift the light, shift various things. You've got your base curve that you can alter. Good grief. Yeah, scale, tone equalizer, exposure, and you can alter the exposure curve and the exposure compression, and then you can actually export it. If you start Google, if you try and open one of these in, let's just go to one. If you try and open one of these in, let's have a look. If I try and open it with GNU to edit it, GNU won't understand the raw. So when I open it, it will call up Darktable. In fact, there we go. So Darktable, I can do various things like messing around with the exposure. It's got my previous settings already in there. Clipping threshold, all the rest of it. When I'm happy, I should just be able to come out of it, and then that should transfer to GNU automatically. To GIMP, rather. GIMP. Yep. So that is my raw image processed. I've adjusted it, and now I've got it in GIMP. So then I can start editing it using the GIMP photo editor. So yeah, Darktable is very useful. Zips and other things. Right, you have the compress option here. So you can select your files and you can use compress. And you've got the options that you can compress it as. Most people find zip or .rar. Zip is obviously the default that many people will go for, and you can just say where the thing is going to be, what you're going to call it, and that will then do all the zipping for you. I shouldn't really have selected so many files, should I? So I'll just cancel that. But yeah. So if you want to just compress things, it's remembered zip, and that's going to create that there, and that should hopefully be a damn sight faster. And there you go, Sheffield Park zip file, which is an archive, and there's the contents. So yeah, it's relatively straightforward to compress things to send somewhere or whatever you want to do with them, and obviously it will compress the folder, which I won't do on that one, but I will do on that one. So compress music.zip, just do it. 88 files remaining. There must have been more in there than I thought, because this is taking its time. Yeah, there's probably some heavy files in here. But yeah, so you've got compression there. You can also use the command line, which I use for a lot of things. So you've got a lot of options. Typically zip -9, which is the highest compression ratio. R for recursion, and the name of the zip file. I'm not actually going to do it here. Zip.zip and the location or files of what you want to do, of what you actually want to zip. Whoops. No, I didn't want to do that. Oh, don't worry, this is going to get toasted at the end of the day. So you've got that in there. Task management. One thing that people know often is that a task has gone tits and you need to sort it out. Normally you would right click on the taskbar. No, that's not going to work here. So you need to go to administration, and is it administration? Or is it preferences? Where the heck is it? I don't actually use it that often. Preferred applications, system settings, where is it? System monitor? Is it system monitor? Ah, yeah, it is system monitor. A system monitor will tell you what's running, so you can sort it by CPU, memory usage, all the rest of that one. And if you want to, you can then end the process. This will tell you the user, and this is just saying that it's me because I've run it as me. So it's only going to show the packages that are mine. So if we wanted to kill Vivaldi, there's a lot of the other stuff. Is that at the root? End the process? Boom, off it goes. Vivaldi's gone. So yeah, we have some shells running, shell scripts running. We can kill those as well. Some of these are probably running at the system level. The highest one is probably here. Oh no, those I actually need a terminal. STT terminal. No, it's not terminal. What do they call it on this? Help. I can't find it. Show me port life variant. No. GNOME system on a CD Randar. Which one of these is it? Bash. That's the one. There it goes. There goes Bash. The Bash shell. You can see it's called terminal at the bottom left. And but it is called Bash. The process is called Bash. You see, I have to do this so few times. The one thing that I do use is PS -EF. The command line gives you some very powerful ways of doing things. That will show me all the processes that are running, and I can grep, as it's called. I can pipe the output to grep, and I can ask for bash. So that will tell me bash is actually running on that process ID. So I can actually kill bash, which is going to kill this by number 11316. But it can't, because it's itself. That is the process ID, isn't it? It can't kill itself. Yeah, it is the process ID. Or I could kill it by name. Or in fact, I could, if I grep for system monitor. System monitor is GNOME system monitor 11264. I could kill it by that ID, or I could just put pkill GNOME system monitor. I should have killed that. Why hasn't it killed it? I hate it when things don't work. Kill 11264. There you go, it's gone. But I may have actually misspelt something there. GNOME hyphen system hyphen monitor. No, I didn't. So why didn't it kill it? That's an interesting one. Let's see if it can kill Firefox by name. pkill Firefox. There you go. It did that one. There must have been something with the hyphens or something, but you can normally kill by name as well. So there you are. You've got task management, pkill, kill. You also got top. So if you want to tell what's going on, you can tell what's going on. And this was by CPU, memory, and which one is it? Is it H? Yeah, H will tell you what you can do and how you can switch whichever column you want to sort by. So you can see what's taking up your resource on the command line if you wish, or you can obviously use System Monitor, which will tell you exactly what's going on. And System Monitor, as you would expect, has the graphical representation, allows you to pick your process and end it. You can see the resources in terms of CPU, memory and network, as you're used to on Task Manager on Windows. And you can also see the file systems that are mounted and what their use is from there. That makes it nice and easy. What have we got? File permissions. Now, file permissions are slightly different in Linux. Normally, if you're the single person using a computer and you're also using USB drives, we've been through USB before, you typically should use NTFS or FAT because permissions don't matter. But every now and then you're going to come across something in which it does matter. And properties work on 3 different sections: owner, group, and what's known as other. And you have read-only, read and write, or no access. And you'll see on this one is none. We can't actually choose none for the owner on here. And there are various groups. So you can change the group that is allowed. The group that these apply to, and what the access is, and what the other access is. And that is because under user management, where are we? Users, update manager, nope. I don't actually use this that often because I'm typically the only one doing it. Where is it? I think it's logon. Logon? No. Administration. Maybe logon. Logs? No. Login window. Here we go. Users. So you have automatic login here, which is what's going on. That'll actually be very useful for me. But that's not actually what I was looking for. Let's just type in user. Users and computers, users and groups. Cinnamon settings users. And we only have one user here, administrator account, and there are groups to which this account is made a member of. There is also a default group which is there called Michelle because that is the user. So when you add a user, it automatically adds a group for that user. And that is because each user has a home directory. And if I go up, you can see there. And if we do a list, details, list details, can we actually add here owner and group? So you can see the owner and the group there. So if I created a new user called Tom or Dick and Harry, and there would be owner and group would be Tom, Dick and Harry. And then you could make one user a member of another group. So I could make Tom a member of the Michelle group and then give the group read-only access. It can get a bit mind-bending, but that's pretty much how it works. User, owner, the user, the group, and then others. So you could say others have free reign to read everything. But if you're the only person using a machine, you typically will not come across this. You typically won't find it to be an issue. So yeah, that's pretty much how that runs. If you find a permission problem, then you will probably be looking at coming to this, having a look at who the owner and the group are, and making sure that you got the necessary permissions. So if you click on a folder and go to properties, you have permissions in there as well. List files only, access files, or create and delete files. And the group and the folder, access files, create and delete files. So typically everybody is able to access files across, but not change anything. And if you have a look in here, you can see the group and you can edit it. You can edit the group name. But it's if you need to make different changes, I can't actually do that in here because it's me. I think if I want to add a new account, I can add a standard account, Tom, username Tom. Then I think I should be able to add groups, no password login. There we go. So I can just click on the groups and add to whatever group. If I gave add to the Michelle group, Tom is now a member of the Michelle group. Seems a bit long-winded, but it's a very old way of doing it, but it works. And if you just sit down and think of who needs access to what, there you go. The only time that you will typically come across this is if you're trying to do something in a restricted area. You want to permanently delete? Yep, get rid of Tom. What happened there? Yeah, Tom's gone. So yeah, you will only be able to go, you will have limited access. If you do this at the bottom, you will see that if I add owner and group, that you have the owner and group known as root. Root is the equivalent user of administrator on a Windows system. So root is your main top-level administrator. But if you have a look at the users, should have kept that open really, shouldn't I? If you have a look at me, I am an administrator and I have membership of the group sudo. So that enables me to do various administrative things by elevating my permissions to do administrative tasks. And you can make people members of that group as and wish. Typically the only thing that you will then find is if you've got a USB stick which has been done in Linux, you will probably have to find yourself changing the owners in order to get at the files, because it'll just say, no, you can't have it. Like if I try and get into there, oh, I do have sudo. Can I get into etc? Yeah, I can get into etc. Lib and the rest of it, but I can't change anything. I can't create a new folder. I can't create a new document because it's owned by root. It's stopping me. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is go through something. Well, I'm going to go through Crontab and Rsync. Rsync is very important for backups and that sort of thing. It is also available on Windows, despite being a Linux tool. Windows does have the Windows subsystem for Linux. I think it came out in Windows 10, and if you have that loaded, it's a bit arse backwards really, because it's actually a Linux subsystem for Windows. But yeah, they've called it the Windows subsystem for Linux. And yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach a USB drive here, 250 gig volume. And if we go into it, it should mount. Hello. Open a new window. Media Michelle 200. It's called that. You'll see it's called a really odd name. So we're going to change that. And I'm going to use gparted to do it. We're going to do a drop down. There it is. And it has no actual label. So there's label file system. Not name partition, label file system. But in order to do that, we're going to have to unmount it. So we're now going to label the file system, and I'm going to call this backup. I'm going to make the tick to apply it. And this is now done, and that is now called backup. So if we go in here, it's called backup. So it's root media Michelle backup. And I've got all the permissions to it that I need. Because it's NTFS, I think. Let's just go back into gparted and make sure that this is where am I going? Administration gparted. Yes, it's NTFS, so permissions won't apply here. And what I'm going to now do is show you a few bits and pieces. Let's go into list detail there, and I'm going to go into an arbitrary folder. I'm going to go into documents, and I'm going to create a new folder called source. And in here I'm going to create a new document. In fact, I'm going to use the terminal for this because it's quicker. Touch 1, touch 2, touch 3. I'm going to touch a load of files. I'm going to mkdir directory. CD directory, touch 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got a load of files in here, and you can see those in there, source and directory. And now I'm going to use what's called Rsync. So Rsync, and I'm going to give it some options. R for recursion, T for maintain the file stamps, U for don't touch it if it's if it's a later date. I might actually get rid of that, and I'm going to use -delete, -delete, and I'm going to give it the source directories: home, Michelle, documents, source. Note that I have an extra slash here right at the end. I'm going to give it the target, which is going to be media Michelle backup. So that is going to synchronize those two locations. Done. That was quick, wasn't it? So you can see all the files are there. There's nothing serious there. Now what I'm going to do is, as you can see, there's no bytes in here. So I'm just going to open this up, type in a load of airy-fairy text, save it. We're going to, you can see that's now 75 bytes. I'm going to do it again. There you go. Number 3 on the on this is now 75 bytes. It synchronized it. That's fine. What if I rename that to 7? Do it again. Boom. There you go. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's your 75 byte file. So what if we delete a few of these? 2, 4, and 5. Run it again. Boom. Gone. All sorted. All sussed. Now I'm actually going to put another USB drive in here. I'm going to copy a file over. I'm going to copy a large file. USB stick. I'm going to copy a game ISO over to here. That's going to come over. It's going to take a bit of time. This is actually going to be a bit of a test for me as well, because I don't know how it's going to behave. So there it is, 670 meg. So I'm going to tell it to rsync again. I'm going to issue the same command, only this time I'm going to stop it while it's halfway through. Ah, it didn't do it. It broke the pipe, and that was it. So it's copying out, copying out, copying out. Break the pipe, gone. So if the rsync is in the middle of synchronizing a file, and for some reason it goes wrong, the file that it was copying or synchronizing gets deleted. Now we will know when it's finished, because it will, the command will come back to us. There you go. And there is Alice A ISO 670 meg. Now we're going to rename this ISO.old. So what's going to happen? What I think should happen is it recopies it. Yep. Yeah, it's recopying it. So it didn't know enough to know that it was the same file that had been renamed. So it deleted the other one and then recopied it again. What this enables you to do is basically have a backup, but it doesn't copy every file every time. It works out what's going on and only copies the changes. If a file was deleted on the source, then it deletes it on the destination, and that is thanks to the minus delete option. The -R means it recurses. The T maintains the file stamps. So if you'll see, these file stamps, 2011-53, 2011-53, 2011-31, 2011-31, these file stamps match. The file stamps themselves were maintained. Now, the U is an interesting one, because I don't know what's going to happen here. If I put some stuff in here and save it, that's going to have 2016-52. If I do this here, open with a text editor, and do more, now this is a later timestamp. This is now a few seconds after this one. So what will happen? Will it go to 13 bytes or will it stay to 44? It should stay at 44, and it has, because this timestamp is later than that one, and we have the -U. In fact, can we actually do, is it better if we do without the -U? That should now go to 13 bytes, and it does. So the timestamp is actually important to it, because the timestamp, if the timestamp is later, it doesn't do it. So in fact, running it without the U may actually be safer. I mean, in theory, your backup drive shouldn't actually be doing very much. And you shouldn't be editing files on your backup drive, so the U shouldn't actually matter. But yeah. Now you'll note that when I did this originally, it took a good few seconds to copy over the Alice A ISO, but in subsequent ones it's just doing it, bang, done, because it knows that the Alice files are exactly the same. So it doesn't need, because of the time and date stamp, it doesn't need to recopy that file again. And that's the important thing about this. When you run your first rsync, it will take a lot of time, because it has got to synchronize all the files. But once it's done that, any subsequent times that you run rsync, it shouldn't take that much time. It shouldn't take that much time at all. Now, as demonstrated, this is going to a USB drive. and I believe it's a great way to do it. I'm actually going to delete everything here, because I'm going to we're just going to in fact I'll delete the source directory, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do this. I'm going to see what happens. So I'm going to rsync with R and T minus delete. There's going to be nothing, because this is the first sync. That is my home directory. That is my entire home directory, and it's going off there. Error selecting input output files dirs code at 3 whatever the hell. That should work. Why doesn't it work here? Right, the reason that failed is because I deleted the source folder and I was still in the source folder. That's why it failed. That's why it was throwing a wobbler. If we have a look at here, that lot was missed, some were not done. There they are. There they go. Doing that, you could normally have synchronized your entire... so where did I go wrong? For most of this, I actually went wrong because I was in the source. I was in the source directory when I was trying to do it, and it had been deleted. RTU delete. I think that's where things buggered up. So in fact, if I go to Michelle, no, doesn't exist. Media, because backup CD doesn't exist. Nah. So one of these I screwed up. Yeah. Yeah, that was the correct command. Be cautious, test things out, and make sure they work. But using this, this is pretty much how I back up my home directory off to other media. Obviously, check that the damn thing works before you actually do it. Good job I was just testing. Otherwise, this could have been disastrous. So that is another thing about Linux. It will not question you. It will not mollycoddle you. If you give it a command, it will do it. And it's up to you to live with the consequences. So I should have taken more care. The onus here is on me. The minute I reboot this, it is going to probably completely keel over and die and say, what the heck do you think you are doing? And let's actually try that. Let's actually log off. What will it do? What will it do? It's probably gonna, that's me. Test this. Will it create a new profile? Or will it just keel over and die? Welcome to Linux Mint. Do not show that dialog at startup. So there you go. Backup folder. Desktop documents. Oh, that's the USB and the USB stick there. Home. It's created a new profile for us. So we have everything there, only no files. So basically what I'm going to do now is just be a complete arse. There's the command. Type it, skipping non-regular file. And if we now go to backup, we have a backup of the home directory, even though it doesn't contain very much. So yeah, the reason why I literally went into gparted and changed the label of this to backup is to make sure that it always mounts with the same name. Otherwise, you know, so if you've got more than one disk drive that you're using for backup, then if they're all called backup, then the command will work on all the drives because you've called them backup, and it's always going to go in rather than some odd what is USB stick is called USB stick. Yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. I was in a directory which I was trying to copy. It didn't like it. I was in a directory which didn't exist anymore, and it didn't like it. So it was throwing up the error, and when I changed out, I must have got my command wrong and mucked it up completely. So that command does actually work. It was just I screwed up how I made it in the first place, and all the preferences that I've put in here have also gone. So the nice large prompt cursor has also gone. So it's actually a good job that this is the last video, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, Rsync works. It's pretty powerful, and as long as you get your syntax right, then you can actually use it to make very powerful backups of all your files and everything that you're doing, and make it quite easily, because subsequent Rsync executions will only need to copy what has changed or been renamed, or delete anything which has been deleted. Like if I get rid of the public folder here, delete, note that it's still in there. When I run the command again, boom, it's gone. So yeah, be careful. It's powerful. Yeah, so there you go. If you're concerned, use it on some test directories first. I was going to go through the Crontab. There is no Crontab. No. The Crontab is basically the equivalent of the let's just exit that, and I'll just copy this command in. It's the equivalent of Nano, by the way, is the editor that I chose, which is number 1, and it's the easiest to use. The task scheduler. You'll notice you have minute, M, H, hour, DOM, day of month, MON, month, D, day of week, and the command to run. So if I said, and these are actually quite powerful, if I said 10 star 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 and then put the command in, it would run that at 10 minutes past every hour. 10 minutes past every hour, it would run that. You can also use commas and other things. 10.30.50 star 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 star, run the command, and that would run the command at 10 minutes past every hour, half past every hour, and 10 to every hour. And obviously you can do the same with the hours themselves. So if I star 3 star star star, and again run the command, that would run on every minute of the third hour. So from 3 o'clock it would run, 3:01 it would run, 3:02 it would run, and in order to stop that you'd have to have a number in there to say only on 3 o'clock, or only at 10 past 3. Only you can have 10 past 3 and 10 past 5, for example. So you can have the command running at various times. I'm going to deliberately stuff this up with a minute that doesn't exist, so that when I exit it and save it, it says error in Crontab file, can't install, because it couldn't parse 90. I didn't want to put it in there. And if you edit Crontab L, it'll say there's no Crontab. I haven't actually put one in, I didn't save it. And so you can have a schedule which will actually copy, and I do actually do this on my main machine. The main machine will copy itself to a network share, I think twice a week. So there is a copy of everything on a server, and because it's using Rsync, It's only copying what has changed on the client. So if I lose my entire client, I have a backup that I can restore from relatively easily. That's only a few days old, and that will also contain any config files, any mail files, any of the hidden files that I use, any of the configuration files that I've changed. It will all be in there, and I can bring that back from network just as well as I could do from the USB drive. So it's pretty powerful. You've got quite a few options, and just take time and take care of your command. You don't want to delete your data like I did. Yeah. It's worthwhile doing in my book, because Rsync, the key thing with Rsync is that it's possible to use the delete file. So if you delete on the source, it will delete on the destination as well, and it will only copy the files that it needs to copy. So although the first Rsync will be an absolute pain in the A, subsequent Rsyncs are not that painful. And there you go. And use that in conjunction with Crontab, and you can have it schedule your backups for you, and you haven't even got to worry. And some subsequent Rsyncs can be so quick that you don't even notice they're happening. I could even have the Rsync running every half hour if I wanted to. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, Rsync can take a few moments to go through large directory structures. So if you've got a lot in there, it will take a while just to work out what's on the source, what's on the target, and what's changed. And yeah, so and that is a lesson in taking care and double checking your commands and what you do before you actually execute the damn things. That was my fault. I was in a directory in the command prompt, and I deleted the directory in the GUI, so it didn't exist anymore. So it threw up. It rightfully threw up. What? I can do that again now. I can make a directory called T. If I go into the directory called T, I can issue that command, no problem. And if I delete T from here, we're still in T there, but it doesn't exist. And if I do it, that's the error that we were getting. So I was in a location that didn't actually exist. So if I back up of that position that doesn't exist, it will run. And you'll notice the T has just gone from there as well. So that is what I did. That's what my actual problem was. I was in a directory that didn't exist anymore, trying to run the command, and it said "Rrr." So that was my problem. In trying to demonstrate things, I just got ahead of myself and stuffed it up. So there you go. That's a lot of the general additional things that I've missed in previous videos that I wanted to bring to you. And I think the next one is going to be look at Ubuntu rather than Mint. So we're going to look at Ubuntu for various reasons, and I'll take you through that one in the next video. Until then, ciao for now.